Are you ready to reveal all there is to see? Esoteric secrets revealed in all of their glory. The Illuminati series from Paranoid American. Putting the naughty in Illuminati. More details at paranoidamerican.com.
Energy. Ain't nobody wanna step to me. If you wanna bring that drama, I'll whoop that ass like Michael Obama. Yeah, I got that big D energy. Ain't nobody wanna step to me. And if you really wanna bring that drama, I'll whoop that ass like Michael Obama.
No, Michelle is a trans.
I'm sorry, she's a what?
Transgender. We all know.
Oh my gosh.
Oh gosh. It's okay.
I whip that thing out like Michael Obama.
We already had it with
I got that
Obama,
big
so
energy.
let's just calm down.
Nobody wanna step to me. And if you really wanna bring that drama, I whip that ass like Michael Obama. I'm a girl, 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 I'm a whip the thing out like Michael Obama. I got that big, big energy. Ain't nobody wanna step like me. And if you really wanna bring that drama, I'll whip that ass like Michael Obama. Ain't got that clip, bitch. Hung like a llama. I'll whip that dick out like Michael Obama.
When the CIA wasn't busy implanting devices in humans, bulls, and donkeys, they also experimented on common house cats. Project Acoustic Kitty was developed in the 1960s with a budget of $20 million, with the aim of implanting microphones and radio transmitters into the heads of felines as surveillance devices. Rumor has it that the project was scrapped after a prototype was run over by a taxi cab. Although, who knows how many surveillance cats are out in the wild right now? How well do you know your cat?
Britney Spears, can we be saved? God, why is Satan controlling the universe?
Constantly explore the view of possibilities come true. So what we do is call out to the good guys. Good guys. Good guys. Good guys. Witches, weirdos, mega mistakes, entertaining, calming linguists. Good guys. Forum of decorum needs a secretive society to advance on philosophies intentionally, magically good guys. Good guys. Good guys. Good guys. Witches, weirdos, mischief making. It's okay to change your thinking. Good guys.
up yourselves, good guys. How are you today? Abby, what's going on?
Oh, just a season of like wrapping things up. Season of endings, which means I've got a season of beginnings coming soon. The Ouroboros of it all, right?
Seasons of endings. You went to one of your kids' graduations today?
I did. This is my third of three of five, three down, two to go.
That's pretty
But it,
cool. As a parent, that's like one of the check marks, right? Of accomplishment. You're like, got him through that one.
yeah, yeah, it is. I mean, yeah, and it's bittersweet because you want to be like the boohooing, and you do a little bit, but really, it's like, fuck, you're a cool kid. You're gonna be a great person, and I'm really proud of you. So
That's awesome. Yeah. Your kids seem like cool kids. Do you get emotional at a graduation? Do you think of them like being little babies and like, oh my God, I can't believe they're grown?
especially this one, like it surprised me, but I remember him being little the most just because he was such a big personality. So yeah, it's but I'm not like the other moms who are like, oh, I never want my kid to grow up and all that. I'm not that either. I'm excited to see who he'll be and what he does. So,
That's
but
cute.
yeah, I cried a couple times.
That's
I
cute.
just
Tears
fanned
are good.
myself.
Sorry, I'm just sweating. I'm just sweating over here. I ain't
I was
crying.
doing that too. Not gonna lie, it was hot in there.
I will just say at the beginning, if you're finding us, we are trying a couple different platforms tonight. So I think we're on Instagram. We definitely are on Rumble. You can find us on X. And there's two channels on YouTube. So if you feel like hanging out with the chat, I do think that Project Chaney might have people in the chat. If you don't care about that at all, then click like and subscribe anywhere and make sure you follow us everywhere that you can because we're going to get in trouble soon. I'm going to say something about Fauci or transgender or something and get myself in trouble with the law. So, anyways, and make sure you like and subscribe, like Abby and Paranoid American, Gordy and Layla, because if we're not here, we might be on one of their channels ruining it.
We're not going away. We're just gonna go somewhere else.
I'm not here for the money. I think that's what it becomes really dangerous. When you start showing up at anything and it's not for currency, you are a danger to the status quo.
Really, you are because we are saying things that make people think. God forbid y'all think.
Well, even like, showing up for yourself at the gym, every time you do that, you are a danger to the status quo. Showing up
Oh,
for yourself, like self care, reading a book, or, whatever you do that you're showing up for and you don't get paid, you're a danger to the status quo.
you really are. I mean, that's why people are like, "Oh, women who work out cheat." Well, maybe women who work out are just tired of fucking not liking their body. You ever think of
And
that?
maybe it's like, you are cheating, but you're cheating with yourself for the first time. Like you are
Yeah,
falling in love with somebody else, but it's you for the first time. And so it might
exactly.
feel weird to a partner because you're like, hey, where's all this extra energy going? Who are you paying attention to at the gym? Me in the mirror, me
Yeah,
in the sauna, me on the weights. I'm falling in love with me, maybe for the first time.
and that's exactly it. Like, I'm a woman in her 40s who loves her body. Like, how many people even ever love their body, even with its little imperfections? Because,
What I find
damn.
about your body is, like most things, it always looks better in the rear view mirror. You
Oh
always
yeah,
think back to a different time and you're like, dang, I took that body for granted.
that's like, and that's what like in prep when you're extremely dieting, you kind of get crazy and you start fixating on your flaws because you're getting ready to go to the stage. So they tell you take the pictures, even if you feel like you look horrible, take all the pictures, and then you look back at them after your show, and you're like, holy shit, I looked amazing. I thought I looked awful in this. So yeah, and even with like my coaching clients, I make them take pictures and send them to me at first, and they hate the pictures. But then after like a month, I can do a side by side of their picture, their first pictures versus where they are in a month, where they think that they're not making any progress because they've only lost 8 pounds. And then they're like, oh my God. I'm like, yeah, that's why you take the pictures because it always makes you feel better. Like the scale doesn't do shit.
Do you think the scale, like all the tickers, population ticker, debt counting ticker, COVID number ticker, do you think it's all bullshit? Like the scale is not really the number you should be looking at all with your body. It
It's
should just
not.
be how the reflection of how you feel. And that number, if you're gaining muscle, like probably times that if somebody was actually working out, they weigh more than when they're just carrying around fat sacks.
They do. And so like so many people obsess about the number on the scale, and so they're like, "Oh, lose weight, lose weight, lose weight." And a lot of the time what they're doing is losing their muscle mass. And so they're like, "Oh, I have all this extra skin." It's like, "No, that's still your body fat. That's not extra skin. Like that will tighten up. You got to lose your fat, but you're losing muscle because you're starving yourself."
You know what else we could do tonight if you want to?
Hmm.
I could probably well, I don't want to say it cuz I'm kind of lazy too. I'm so sorry audience. Like it's kind of showed a little bit, but since they took the channel down and we got really shadow banned, it always hurts my heart. Every channel I ever lose, even though I don't care, it's happened to me so frequently with the shit I say, and I've lost way bigger accounts, but it always like dings my armor enough that I'm like, why am I doing this? Like, who cares? Like, who cares? Like, what am I doing? What am I, my own currency to like do this hobby or like hang out? Like, what am I doing anymore? Just lose another account to give myself, maybe I'm not going to be able to buy a house one day because of my shitty social credit score.
Oh, God forbid you don't have a mortgage,
I
a
know.
death payment.
But then every single time we lose one, now it's a but a channel, and I even felt worse this time because it's one thing when I say shit and I just lose a channel for me, but I kind of hurt the good guys when I lost. I mean, we were saying it together. I know it wasn't just me; it was me, you, and Layla.
Yeah, all three of us.
Which, by the way, let me say, you guys, we love the shit out of Layla, and she's taking a little vacay, and like she will be back hopefully Friday. Just so every the Layla lovers out there, which I know are like 99% of you, if you're not jealous of her looks.
Exactly.
That's what I have realized. Where
Our beautiful
most of the
Layla.
time, yeah, I miss Layla. Like even when the picture, like when we were doing the end of the Friday show, I feel like because I was on vacation, like I've been away from you guys for like a month. And then so the fact that she wasn't here and now it's 2 shows, I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen Layla for like 9 on air hours. But
I know, but it adds up. I know. I'm like, I'm missing Layla too.
I know I'm following her Instagram. And then I was also scrolling through. This is like, I don't know, this must be like a parental weird ego thing, but I was just scrolling through all the people that I follow, and I was just like in awe at how beautiful everybody is. Like I was just in kind of awe, like Layla was just in her car talking shit, and maybe it was Bianca, talking about something, and maybe I flick to your page, maybe I flick to, and it's my Maria, like whoever it is. It's just, it doesn't matter. It might be one of you out there watching right now. I probably scrolled through your Instagram and thought the same thing if you were talking on it, or your TikTok or whatever. And I was kind of like in awe of like, wow, I just don't remember my mom's friends being so beautiful. Like I feel like something about all of us, like, do we love ourselves more, and is that a good thing? Does it show?
I think so. I do think so because I think we're more healed.
Yeah,
Just,
maybe it's easier to see the beauty in things.
I think so because I feel like my mom's friends too were, I don't know, was it the era? But they always seem so much older. Like you keep like, you're like, I look good for almost 50. And I'm like, you don't even look almost 50. Like you look great.
Look at, this is my favorite. I hope she's visiting Donut.
Well, wouldn't that be interesting?
Wouldn't that be fun? You never know. You never know what's happening in the behind the scenes of the world of podcasting.
Baby donut holes.
Oh my gosh. Munchkins. What are we talking about right now? Chat, don't get us off. Don't get us in trouble.
I know. Layla and Donut
We're
will
just
kill
being
us.
silly. We're just being silly. This is spilt tea, and it's not even real tea. It's spilt invisible tea.
We're spreading
What the hell?
rumors.
I know. You guys are gonna make me Ralph. Wouldn't
This is
wouldn't
some
it
mean
suck
girl
if like
shit.
your name became one of the names that they decided to use for puke? Like Ralph.
Oh yeah, Ralph. Well, when I played softball, I think I had told this story before, but my coach like let us. We were like right before a championship game. He let me and a couple of my teammates take a dip, and I got tired of like spitting my spit out because I was like doing the long stringy thing. So I was just swallowing it with my soda. So I puke, and another one of my teammates puke, and then we're okay. You know, we go on and we play our game, and the whole game, I was Ralph, and she was Ralph. I was Chucky, but it was pretty funny.
See, like up Chuck or Ralph.
Yep.
Like you don't call it Charlesing. Oh, I'm about to Charles. Which,
You
by
might
the
call it
way,
a
you know that King Charles painting? I'm gonna pull it up. Everybody else
yes.
has
It's
been
so
talking
fucking
about it
weird.
all week. Let's pull it up. This happened while I was out of town, which is probably for the best. This probably would have sent me spiraling in some kind of weird royal rabbit hole that I don't need to really be in right now. But now that it's far enough away, let's discuss it. Since everybody else has their 2 cents about it, now let's pour in our change. I need to find a whole one. It's just his face. I don't need to. 3 days ago. Here, I'll just do this. That's good enough. I'll have it kind of blurry so we don't do a spell with whatever's going on here. So, isn't it so odd? What are your
So
thoughts
odd
of
is an
this?
understatement. I mean, the
Okay.
red alone. I mean, that's intense emotion, right?
I need to turn off that background. It's going to
But
give
why
me.
is it all blurred?
Well, here's the other thing too that I saw Human Vibration wrote something, and I thought this was interesting. Is that Charles? They released some letters that Charles and Camilla have as love letters, and Charles is like, "I would suck your tampon" or something to Camilla. And
Sexy.
like yeah, like she made mention to this. The thing that I think is so crazy, and I was just on a totally different thing where I was like, shut up, this movie's coming out, I'm losing my mind. So then I went down, like I just laid and watched stuff about this all day. But I don't know why. Let me find the other one. This is the one. I felt like it reminded me, and I know it's just red and it's just like blood and whatever, but it kind of looked like this movie poster to me.
That okay. See, that's the vibe that I got was the whole 28 days, or which I don't know if I've ever seen this particular 28 years later.
No, this hasn't
But
come
wow.
out yet. This is
Oh,
2024. That's why I
shit.
went down a
That it
whole
looks
thing.
just like it.
And it's Cillian Murphy that he's like reprising his role. So if you saw 28 Days Later, it's like pretty much the best zombie flick, I would argue. And
Yeah, it's a great zombie pick.
he's in that one. And then there's the 28 Weeks Later, maybe. And that one kind of
Yeah.
sucks. But the writer said he didn't really like it, like the director of the original. And then they were supposed to have 28 Months Later, but that kind of got put off. And now it actually is almost 28 years later, or maybe it is. So he's reprising his role in it, and it's
So we
supposed
have
to be out this year.
the Eiffel Tower, and then the biohazard symbol, which actually kind of looks like a whole bunch of crescents, huh?
Oh
Or
yeah, it
bull
sure
horns.
does. Yeah, or bullhorns, the biohazard. Um, but I think the zombie apocalypse is interesting, and I was also thinking of how similar the zombie apocalypse is as like a vampire apocalypse. There isn't really much difference of zombies and vampires, except some of them seem fast, some of them can fly, but they all just want to eat you.
Yeah, well, vampires like, well, depending on which version of vampire you get, most of them are not mindless, like a zombie.
Yeah, that's where I went down a rabbit hole of all the different like vampiric rules of all the different
Oh
movies and
shit!
all the different zombie rules of all the different movies. And it kind of from all just from this 28 days later that I looked at it and I was like, huh, that looks like that Charles picture everyone's talking about now. And they do seem to be pushing this zombie apocalypse on us. Like while everybody's looking up waiting for blue beam, if you look left and right, there's fentanyl zombies all around us.
I think I saw one today. As a matter of fact, like driving through Tulsa, and there's this guy. My son is like, I wonder if he's on fentanyl because he didn't have a sign, so he's not begging for money. He's just sitting there with his shirt off and like doing fucking crazy ass shit. Like, I don't know. It's a thing, I think.
I haven't watched yet, but Thomas did an episode with a dude who talks about schizophrenia being demon possession. And I kind of
Oh,
lean
is that
more
with
toward
Trusika?
I don't think it is. It's a
Okay.
dude's name. I probably could find it on my phone, but go to
Okay.
paranoidamerican.com, you guys, or follow Thomas anywhere at Paranoid American. You know, he does a really good job of advertising his stuff, and I don't know when it'll be coming out or what the dude's name is, so I don't want to. But just the idea um, of we have the Catholic Church coming out in the last week and saying the thing about. Let me pull it up real quick.
Was it about aliens?
No, they said something about, like, apparitions and demons and
Okay,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, and, like, da, 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 statue weeping, Catholic Church pilgrims, why U.S. Catholics are planning pilgrim. No, take all. I don't know. Hold on. Catholic Church, miracles, maybe. Let me just, this is how I look up things, you guys, because I'm so. Should we believe in miracles? Vatican announces new rules to authenticate miracles, such as weeping statues, vision of Virgin Mary, da 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 da. But I guess they came out with this whole thing like unexplained stigmata on social media, apocalyptic prophecies. And so the Catholic Church even had to make mention to this thing. And so then you think about schizophrenia, like if it is some kind of we only have demon of one idea, like this dark entity, whatever. But if it's like a fleshless energy and it just needs flesh so that it has free will and it can actually jump on and ride something, you see these people that we used to like paranoid schizophrenic or schizophrenic actually making you multi personalities. What would be the difference if you are a person that observes yourself speaking to you in your head and you can observe all the different thoughts? And are they all in the same voice?
I don't even observe a voice. Do you?
Yeah. I have a couple of voices.
I probably do, but I've never really paid that close of attention to because I try to realize that I'm not my thoughts. You know, I try to separate myself, but I don't know.
I have a couple different voices and I don't listen to them all. And I wish I could pull it up really fast because in the Project Chaney Telegram, Tina Bear,
Mhm.
she did this really she just said it really well. I might even find it and then just play it in the microphone about what voice you hear if you hear something. Hold on.
I remember asking if it's male or female.
Let's see if I can do it fast. I feel
I
like
do think
that
mine
was
sounds like me.
yeah, that was one of my things where I was like, sometimes I have a more masculine voice in my head. Let's see if it's this one. Wait, I don't want to. Let me not bring up the wrong thing. That is so funny. If you feel like talking about anything, feel free.
Well, you're talking about demonic possession and or you know some sort of demonic possession with schizophrenia. And even in the Bible, there's this one lady who was a seer, and she was somebody's servant or slave. So this guy made money off of her because she would, have visions and stuff and tell people. And Jesus was walking around her and she kept saying, "Behold the Son of God." And she was like pointing at him and he's like not wanting attention drawn to him. So he cast out the spirit in her because he said that she was demonically possessed and she lost her gift of prophesying or whatever. Or so even that can be seen as an unclean spirit.
So sometimes like the gifts, like these people with certain gifts, but then I don't, with the schizophrenic thing, it always makes me think of adrenochrome immediately because the schizophrenics have higher levels of adrenochrome in their body. And so then you think of how many deities or how many festivals from the Yulin Dog Fest, or even I always think of Britney Spears with her saying that she gave her blood 30 times
Yeah.
a week. Like, why would you have to do that? But if you're schizophrenic, if you're Anna Nicole Smith and you actually like, they pull out a child you and an adult you and a version of you like split, that there's proof with multiple personalities that your multiple personalities can know different languages, can know different talents, can know different, like the amount of things different, walk different, the gaits different, dress different, like different foods. And it, even to the idea, if you guys have ever seen the movie Split or Mr. Glass, or these, he can get really strong in one of his energies, or he can, like he's, oh, I'm very proper and I talk like this in one of my energies and I'm very motherly and nurturing, like it's like this whole, we see that with Britney Spears a lot. Hello, I have this like British accent and sometimes she's a little kid, you guys. And Sarah, now Sarah.
Well, even diet, like even some in some of the clinical notes and stuff on schizophrenia or multiple personality disorder, one of the patients had a personality that had diabetes, and when they would test the person's blood sugar, it'd be off the hook when they were that personality.
And there's, if even people are in certain accidents and then they come back where they're like, oh, I came back from this accident, now I speak fluent Chinese. Do
Yeah.
you speak fluent Chinese, or do you have a walk-in? Do you have I think there's something that in spells and magic and things, that your flesh, you can step away from your flesh enough that another energy can walk into it and take it over. And so this would be what the Catholic Church would be like, oh, you need an exorcism. If that energy was an ugly demon that twists your head around.
Was it Insidious, the one where the little boy lucid dreams or whatever, or astral projects, and then he's like entities go into him or whatever, and he's lost? Or
I don't
that idea is kind of,
remember that one.
I think it's
But that
Insidious.
too. Okay. Now you just did. If you mix the idea of Russian dream hacking with the idea of demonic possession, what could be possible inside your head? You could be a person that tries everything in your real life to avoid anything that would be considered low vibration. But if they can put enough symbols and flashes in the world to hack your dreams, then it doesn't matter anymore. Even if there's a tone in the air we don't hear, or a chemical they're trailing on us.
Yeah.
I just think of all the things that now in my brain I'm like, oh, gonna get in trouble for chemtrails. Oh, I said COVID. Am I allowed to say the word COVID? I don't even know if it's allowed.
Nanobots, are we allowed to say that?
I know. Everything seems like I don't know. It's so wild.
Oh, you
I
said
just
adrenochrome too, so
oh
that's a
yeah,
bad word.
thrill oxide. It's so wild that the amount of things that are considered conspiracy, even by conspiracy theorists, and I would say adrenochrome's one of them. And that is so wild to me, how intelligent people that I know refuse to do any further research into that topic because they think it's a psyop, and it is realer than most of the It's the same as when I hear people say birds aren't real and they're like, that's the dumbest thing ever. And that's why I like the um
Kitty
kitty.
thing?
Yeah, what's it called again? It's their project. I've watched it 100 times. I
I
should know what the
know.
name of it is.
I should know
Somebody write it
too.
in the chat. Something kitty.
But that like really triggered me because my cat was my neighbor's cat, and then I probably talk about this Friday, but it has a cross eye too, and I'm like, that's a camera or something. But I love it, so it's okay. At least they made it cute and lovable. If
Cats.
it's a
Sometimes I
CIA kitty.
always am like, I sure hope that when the aliens come down, they don't look like cats because Earth boys will be in trouble. That'll be the only thing in competition. If the fallen look like cats, y'all in trouble. Y'all in trouble. That's the only thing I think that can compete with a handsome Earth man. Really, is a cat.
Yeah. For women, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they're so weird.
Did you see Daddy Trump's text earlier?
No, tell me.
Dark MAGA. That's what he said.
Oh, yeah, that is dark magic, huh? Dark witch.
Dark Witch.
Super interesting. I did get a red witch hat.
Oh, did you?
Yes, I
That's
don't.
cool.
I wish it was red, more red. I would stand in my chair and grab it, but my chair is a rolling office chair, and I just think that would break the like. I just
That sounds like
I pictured that timeline just now, where I just stood up real quick, old school Chaney, and grabbed that hat, and then whoop, and then it was on here, and you were just like, and then all of a
yeah.
sudden you just see a hand reach up for the microphone, and I'm like, oh,
I'm dead.
yeah, textuals.
Acoustic Kitty.
Acoustic kitty, thank you.
Oh my god, that's making me think of my son's been watching Young Sheldon a lot. So like, soft kitty, warm
Do you
kitty, little ball of fur.
don't you
Whatever.
I never seen any of those. Like for
Ugh,
some reason, my tools of discernment have always gone off and said, stay away from everything to do with that show. And I have. And I've been okay. Like there's something about it's the same as the Forrest Gump. It's like they are normalizing wacky, vacky injury. And so that whole show is just normalizing big pharma
and I
injury.
get that, but on the same token, I like that they are showing a little bit of what it's like because, these kids who are vaccine injured. Oh, sorry. These kids who do have those kind of things, my
I'm going to
son
argue that
included.
right now
Yeah,
because
good.
we are not going to get taken down. How dare you say that? Go and make sure that you get all your vaccines because I don't even know how to say it and even know what another word would be after it. That was the opposing. Don't take us down. This is for educational purposes and entertainment purposes only.
Absolutely.
They seem like the same thing at this point.
But I have people all the time who don't understand. Like, they're like, well, he looks perfectly normal. And it's like, well, duh. What do you expect him to look
We
like?
all
They
look
look
perfectly
normal.
normal.
Yeah. He thinks different and he processes different and he whatever. But that just like, he's not stupid and he
We
does
all
look normal.
process and think different. And part of the issue is that all these silly teachers that are brainwashed into one way of education that they have to do to keep their job, how on earth could they keep up with all the different kinds of brains that kids have nowadays? They're
It's
just
hard.
stunting. It's like a stunt of our like creative brain of where we should be going.
It
Like it
absolutely
just
is.
seems like the
The No
Rockefeller
Child Left
education
Behind shit.
system.
Yeah, well, it's start with the No Child Left Behind crap too, because that's when like pushing for fucking standardized testing, and
You know
so
why they're saying that it's the same thing for the pride thing with that silly rainbow and the spectrum of look at all the spectrum of sexuality, and look at all the spectrum of like mental illness. Look at all the spectrum. They all just want us to stand in line for like a severe, like, look at a spectrum of terrorist like alert. Like, how high of a terrorist alert should we be on? I don't know. It's just like, why do they want us on a spectrum so bad?
I don't know. I guess you don't call yourself black or white, A or B.
Huh.
But I'm
A
okay
or
with not. I like being gray, so it's whatever.
But even the 50 Shades of Grey push, that
Right.
even the color of
That's
the
the same
spell of
thing.
pushing the
Yeah.
50 Shades of Grey on us, they want to spectrum us so bad. That was a spectrum of not just, you know, our sexuality as far as like we're going to pick a million different pronouns, but it was like, look, housewives, look at this 50 Shades of kink. This is all
Yeah.
okay.
Now there's kinks.
Yeah, this is all okay. Like, and do you think there's a fine line between kinks and trauma?
Oh God, yeah. Like even that book shows it. That book, like the main character or whatever, he like Gray, he's like won't let her touch him in certain areas because of his trauma. And I do think, yeah, personal experience, I'm gonna say people who have a lot of sexual hangups, it comes from trauma. So which could be
Sexual
called a kink.
hangups come from trauma, or
What
sexual proclivities come from trauma?
don't you think that sometimes they're one and the same? They can be one and the same?
I don't know, because sometimes proclivities seem like so far out there, like
That's a
so much
really nice
extra.
word. Say that again.
Proclivities, they seem so much extra out there, whereas your hangups could be like you're less, like you're tighter. Like you're
But
like, keep the lights off. I'm gonna keep my clothes on. You know, we're only gonna have missionary sex. Whereas your proclivities could be like, lick my
I
toes and stick a baseball bat up my asshole.
but you might like that based on because you won't explore other things, you know what I mean? I don't know. I think that sometimes they go hand in hand. Just from my experiential knowledge, which I'm not going too deeply into. I'm just saying.
You're not gonna go too deep. I was gonna just be like, so are you saying that it's just normal to experience like you're like everybody wants a baseball bat in their asshole?
Oh my god. I
I'm
had this
sorry.
weird. Okay, I'm going to talk about my weird dream the other night because
Okay.
that just that's a lead in. So I'm dreaming that I'm in this freaking front yard. I'm trying to hop the fence, and Chaney's trying to hop the fence too. But there's water in the yard, like the whole yard is water. And normally I would say water is emotion. And something swims up. I step off the porch into the water, and something swims up and bites me on the leg. And it's this weird looking fish thing, like a sucker fish. And I'm freaking out. And Chaney's like, "Oh, I just saw that bite your leg." I was like, "I know." So I'm trying to get up on the porch out of the water, and it swims back around. But then all of a sudden the water is drained, and I'm kind of far away from the fence that we're gonna hop. And all of a sudden something is like trying to crawl up my ass, and I'm like, "What the fuck?" And I'm like, "Chaney, help me." But she's helping some other girl who's like been over, and she's really got something up her ass. And so Chaney's like trying to freaking pull this thing out of her out of her ass. And then I'm over there like reaching around trying to grab this thing that's trying to crawl up mine. I freaking finally yank it out, and I throw it on the ground. It's a fucking little ass monkey. I was like, "What the fuck? You disgusting ass little monkey." And then Cheney gets it out of the other girl's ass when we get out of the yard. But it was fucking weird. Dreams are so weird. Oh my gosh, is
Mm,
Summer here? Is she flying in?
Summer, are you flying in?
Hey.
Big up yourself.
I love it. Well, the only one who's flying is Abby with those wings as your backdrop. Oh,
It's
sorry, the
my
dogs.
crow.
How are you, Sums?
Oh my gosh, guys, I'm retarded clearly because I'm walking thinking I have the headphones plugged in. You probably heard me before. And it was a charger. So
Oh, you sound crystal clear right
yeah,
now.
now because I didn't walk away from the phone with the charger plugged in, not the headphones. So I'm back. How are you
How's
guys?
Yay.
Jamaica? How's Jamaica?
It is roasting. It's hot like fire. All right. I mean, you open the windows in here today, and I felt like I was in a convection oven. Like the windows are just shooting hot air in you. But that just means I need to get to the beach. You guys look nice and tan though. What you been up to? Abby, you're looking tan.
Well, thank you. I've been going into a tanning bed, but don't look at my bottom because where the sweat pools, it's still white.
Where the sweat pools.
Right.
Yeah.
I used to have a.
Go on, Sums.
Okay, you have neon vapor when you blow out your weed or your vape because it just blew
What?
like purple and green dragon
Did
smoke.
it? Let's see.
Like I'm not adjusting. Yeah, I see.
Oh yeah, it does look green.
Totally. Okay, thank goodness I'm not like 11D right now. I'm like, oof. It's only
Summer,
9
bring up a
o'clock.
conspiracy. Any conspiracy you want. What are the kids
No, I can't.
clamoring
I can't.
about
just
on
need,
X?
I need to know. No, I just need to know if Charlotte has had given birth. Forgot about Charlotte. I'll be back. The stingray. Does anyone know if she gave birth or not? The baby
Oh,
Jesus stingray that was like well overdue, like 40 days overdue to give birth to the first ever. Oh God, I can't think of the
possible
word.
shark.
No, she
No.
was a Virgin Mary birth, so there was no
Oh, yeah.
males in her
Well, it
tank.
could have been a shark, right? No, well, there were 2 little bamboo sharks that would go in there sometimes, like I did the Flamori You're Not the Father picture. So they would go in there when their tank was being cleaned. So it would have been the first ever shark ray, or the first or parthogenesis. That's what it's called, the P word. So it's the first ever case of documented parthogenesis in a stingray, and that is when species, for the sake of population continuation, they are able to reproduce on their own, which just goes back to the whole gay frogs. And yeah, some of the frogs are gay. And yeah, atrazine may have made some of them gay, but some of them did change their gender for whatever reason. So we're not have to
Charlotte
go.
the Stingray, months after mysterious pregnancy, 6 days ago. Did Charlotte the Stingray ever give miracle birth? 1 week ago. Let's see.
Well, she has her own page. I think it's called Echo. So if you go in TikTok, no, bro. If you go in TikTok and type Charlotte Stingray, it's like the actual aquarium that she's at because she's lived in this tank alone for 8 years. But that's where I've been following, and I got so mad like 2 weeks ago because I swore that like Charlotte was overdue because they're like, we don't know the gestational period of a baby Jesus stingray. So I was like, oh my God, this is so good. It's gonna come at Easter. I feel like Easter was a month ago. And then I got mad last week or the week before because I saw like she had like a GoFundMe or an Amazon list or something. I was so fucking mad. Charlotte, just give birth. So is she birthed?
No, she hasn't birthed yet.
What
This
the
seems
fuck
like
is
a whole.
happening?
This seems fake.
No,
It's a hoax.
I was so invested. I mean, it goes back to all of the other critters. I mean, you have some eels. You have the Molly MDMA eels and the cocaine eels that are like in the rivers where they do festivals in the UK from like people pissing who are on drugs. So like you have really geeked eels. That's a whole rabbit hole. It's like that's scarier than beavers when you're noodling. So I'm never going in water again. Like that's where I'm at right now. I'm just land critter.
Beavers when you're noodling.
No,
That is scary.
bro,
I
no,
know.
that's the
I've done it.
biggest. No, I know, Abby. That's why I can't believe I'm bringing it up right here because you know where beavers carry me to. Anal secretion, but we might as well. But
Vanilla.
anyway, no. But Abby was the first known person. Like I don't know what I was on a noodling dig for. Oh, I think I was looking up spaghettification. Guys, do you know what spaghettification is? Not noodling. Spaghettification is
Oh,
what
do tell.
happens to us. It's what happens to us when we fly through a black hole. The human body that goes through spaghettification.
Black holes trigger the
Okay,
shit
that meant
out
to be
of me.
black hole or spaghettification because I just feel like
Never
maybe we spaghettify
you.
when we teleport. Okay,
Yeah,
that's what all I'm saying. Did we?
It's not you. I just black holes. There couldn't be anything more triggering to me than a black hole. It's like the idea that people are scared of this thing out in space. Like the amount of shit you have to believe in a black hole is like it makes my head do a thing that I'm like, we can't have a conversation.
It
Like-
makes your head noodle, and then
It
you
makes
go through the
you get it.
spaghettification.
You
You see?
spaghettified my brain.
That's what I mean. Like it
You're
all
right.
fucking looped, and then that came into the black hole of noodling, which is a dark crevice where you stick your hand in. I don't know why Abby does this, but beavers are in the black hole inside of the noodling pond, and that's the number one injury and risk. Remember, I was an auditor for like workers' compensation, so I love risk assessment still when I look at the employees of every conspiracy. And yeah, beaver bites, a beaver bag grabbing onto your hand as you're noodling in a crevice. Has that ever happened to you, Abby?
Hell
Have you
no, it hasn't.
beaver bitten
I
while
have a
noodling?
good picture of my hand somewhere where I freaking bruised the shit out of it, but no, I never got bit by a beaver.
Here's
I was
homework for you
more afraid of
guys.
snakes.
Everybody, you have a used bookstore in your town or old thrift stores, go and look at the books in there and go and get some old books. I'm starting to find so many cool books in the stores. And I was thinking like summer in Jamaica, like the history books that you can get from really the place, like from really your state. There's history books that your state makes that none of the other states have ever seen. And it's like old stuff. So I was thinking the islands for Jamaica, there's like printings and
Or
local authors.
Black Law's Dictionary. If you guys can get Black's Law, like those books, those dictionaries are like people studying sovereign law and stuff. They're selling for like a 30 grand. There's like a fourth edition and a sixth edition. I feel like little towns will have history books that are well worth. Don't you
Yes,
think, Jen?
atlases. They'll
Yeah.
have
Oh, real
the
maps.
amount of cool stuff, like you're saying, that they don't know the value of it, but it's just, Thomas, Paranoid American, will tell you, like a lot of the old books that you hear people talk about, like it's almost like if you like music, you don't want to just know who your favorite author listened to. You want to know who your favorite singer listened to. You want to know who your favorite singer listened to. And it's like researching, like you keep going back deeper to like what they found and what they found and what they found. And this person looked up to this person and this person read this person shit. And that's kind of in a way how I think.
Okay, but think, and there's also something very powerful, guys, of your finger on the pages of a book. Because, like, there's certain books I tap into. So, the Library of Congress, I don't know if it's still open, but I think when the day the EBS went off, like that opened and never closed. But you could go in there and look up every book. And, like, if it's on file, you can swipe through like a Kindle, right? But some of my kids' books aren't even in there. Like, my kids' books that they're still recycling in school here, it's like the kids, her name's Hilda in some tree or something, but they're like not even allowed to speak on a Sunday. On a Sunday, they can only smile. And then it teaches them how to do like maple, Hilda in the maple tree. And they teach you in the book. I'm like, what are these things? And I'm learning more than the kids are teaching me, like old farming equipment and how to get maple syrup out of a tree. And I'm like, oh my God, how did I read this? But the feeling of a book, I love that sometimes with all the historical books. Sometimes you can feel the pages and you feel the truth and it does connect you. But local.gov is the Library of Congress, guys, and it's on 24 hours. Even if your phone is off and you have a power cut in Jamaica, you still will have 24 hours screen time.
Think of how like the oldest text, if you could find them from your state, probably are written on paper that is made from the oldest trees from your state. And it's probably also a wood that if you were to make a house or a box out of it, no bugs would get in it or ever eat it. Isn't that interesting?
Oh my goodness. I wonder if the papers are based on the trees, like if we could plot it. You know how we talk about how you, Chaney, with your Nash wood, you know how we should all whittle our woods with our stick that's linked to
Do you know
our
what my
family.
Bahamian island's going to be called?
Tell me. Oh my God.
Nashall.
Oh, Nash. Oh my God. Oh my God. I don't know. My right shoulder just popped. Like I can't. Oh my God. I can't.
You only get it if you get the islands. It's so silly. Books and things in Nashall.
Bomboclat, butterfly in the sky. Is that when we can sing the reading rainbow at Nassau? Can I have a little reading nook in a little tree in Nassau? Oh my God, this is so punny. I've been feeling very punny and alliterative recently. Didn't you notice, Abby?
I love when you're punny. Yeah, I've noticed your alliteration.
Alliterations and limericks need to come back, bro. I love a good limerick.
Can we talk about QAnon for a second? Is that going to, at least it'll be a whole different thing if we get a
And I just
mark for
light
it.
a spliff or something for
Yeah, we'll all light a split together
Just
to
like
talk
we
about
have to wait until
QAnon
we
for
go
a
to
second.
53 because 52 is a weird number. We don't do reverse 25 on QAnons. But QAnon is different than Q and Anons and Q
We're gonna
plus.
talk
And like
about
we're
it.
definitely Q guys.
Okay,
We're the
well,
ones who trade.
no, okay. So, in
No, I'm
let
just
me
in
just say
52.
this.
Okay.
In the
Don't
Q
know you
of it
can't
all.
Q Anon until 53.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
not
Don't
gonna
believe me.
QAnon. We're gonna in the Q of it all. And in the Q of it all, what's Wonderland?
Bloody Wonderland. Saudi Arabia. Hillary's
What's
Wonderland.
through the looking glass?
Well, Wonderland in Q is Saudi Arabia. So who died today in a helicopter crash? Isn't it like the president of Saudi Arabia or something?
Ooh.
Persia, maybe. I think it was Persia because I heard, I didn't even look. Oh my gosh, I don't want to talk to them. I feel like I heard someone say Persia, but isn't, fuck. Okay, we're going.
Or Iran. Iran. It was Iranian president, right? Iranian president? I don't know. Yeah, so thank you, Dale. Thank you. Is Iranian president. So I'll
Pope,
this
president.
I don't even know. Is it a president in Iran? So but I thought an interesting thing, scratch the Q thing. We'll go back to that. But General Soleimani, remember, he was killed and he was supposedly the Iranian general that had the nuclear keys. And he was killed in Iraq, which everyone was like, what? What was he doing in Iraq anyway? And the Congress was super upset. Like Nancy Pelosi was so pissed because they didn't inform Congress at all before they killed him. Do you remember this? Like Kuhan Soleimani?
Goodness, yeah, but these subjects, I get now when I hear Iraq and Iran, like my brain does images of people running away at night. I just don't want to mix it up. But I don't want to like mix the wrong name, but I remember that. Oh my
The
gosh.
president and prime minister in a helicopter crash.
Oh,
Well, it's same
shit.
here. In history, the Islamic Republic of Iran has only had two supreme leaders. Khomeini, who held the position from 79 till 89, and Khamenei, who has, oh, I thought it was a helicopter death. It just Khomeini said that. I thought another one crashed. But Persia did turn into Iran, bro. This is a thing. That's why I knew it was Persia. So Persia's not a thing anymore. What is Persia called now? Iran? My lights just flicked. Did that change too?
Is this Prince of Persia shit?
Yeah.
Bro,
Persia
it's
is
so
Iran.
Prince of fucking Persia. I didn't know, so I was right. Okay, it was Persia. Oh gosh, thank goodness. Oof. This is making.
So I think
So
of
it
like
just makes
Xerxes
me
and stuff.
wonder if the president and the prime minister are shot down, would it be an easy thing for a dirty general? Like, if the future proves the past of it all, would it be a thing for like a dirty general? Would he be the one heading up Iran right now? If Soleimani was still alive?
Sounds like a question.
Like
for
if we're
Glock.
doing chain of command in the United States, yeah, but who knows?
But also, if you even go back to Smedley Butler, the Marine, they tried to get him sometimes, like, even look at Adolf Hitler. When you look at somebody, sometimes they can get the military, once they have the military might behind them and the military follows them, they can take down the politicians. And so it's
Yeah.
like an inside, like sometimes they try to get military generals to pull a coup because they're like, the whole entire military will follow you.
Okay,
The
guys,
sheep will follow the stars.
look at this though. He's born December 14th. He's 63. But they say the party that he's from is the Combatant Clergy Association. I never knew. I knew of the CCP. I've never heard about the Iranian CCA. But what I'll show you now, if like you look at him now because it's fresh and you'll go to like Wikipedia, they'll have it open, but you'll soon see that they're going to lock everything, right? This article is going to be affected and they'll lock everything and they'll close it out. So this is when I always screenshot. But never in my life have I gone in Wikipedia and it's written half in English and half in Iranian. And a lot of these people too, their birthdays are different when they put it on flight logs and stuff. It's very weird. I can't believe we brought up dead people. Oh, I'm signing out.
It is kind of. There's also something in the Q maps that says something about like plane pilots bad, helicopter pilots good. Do you remember that post?
Well, I'm not sure, but I feel like we should go to Q alerts and see what the deltas of today is. What do you agree? I have
All
Magic
right.
Phone 7 here. It's safe. Do I put the date first or the number?
Alerts.
Is it 19MAY or MAY19?
Oh my gosh. I feel like this but we're going to do it. We're going to open up Q alerts on here right now and see what happens. Okay. But I'm not going to what do I just put in helicopter? But I also
Or today's date. See if it's any like shit.
Okay. So first 319 origin country COVID-19 China. Ah!
China. Let's go.
I
Helicopter.
know. I don't want to
helicopter,
read
but-
any of it out loud.
Helicopter.
I'm like,
Helicopter.
they're always going to get me with this stuff. But this is for real. The first account that I lost was because of saying this word too many times.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? Like over anything else, it wasn't frazzle gate, it wasn't pizza drip, it was this word.
Yeah, but Chaney, you have to admit it. All right. So a lot of these Q-tards, guys, and they do exist.
They do
understand. There are
exist.
people who give us a bad name, which is why we're hesitant to mix our magic in with this. So we took it over. But a lot of these accounts that went sorry, disclaimer for entertainment purposes only. But there all of these accounts that we lost, Jane, like for our real shit. Like we still don't get ours back. And like there's people who like lost their account 6 times and got it back. So I now believe strongly the more I see deltas of the screenshots of the deltas that a lot of these people they do delete their posts when they change their mind because to them it's not okay to change their mind. So a lot of people self-delete their posts when they can't just stick with their conviction. So I just wanted to big up you on that point, Chaney, because your page has always, I mean, even a lot of these people, you go through them and go through the number of podcasts that they have, and numbers are definitely missing because they don't like how they portrayed themselves on that. So I just wanted to big up you and your authenticity.
Thank you.
That you can be that true growth, and it's okay to change your mind. Big
It's
up
okay.
yourself, right?
And it's okay to
guys.
change your
It's
mind
growth.
back and again.
Yeah,
You have to. You have to admit the
What's the opposite of growth? The fuck? My brain just did a weird thing. Abby, what's the opposite of growth? Growth. So we growth, like
Shrink,
change your mind
shrivel?
is growth. So we grow and we go back.
Atrophy.
And then grow again.
Atrophy,
We're not gonna
that's a good word.
atrophize. Oof, weird. That just made my shoulder hurt.
that shoulder.
No, it's like paraplegic. I feel like I'm growing the wing that's hanging out behind Abby's back. Yeah. Oh, don't get me into body parts and whale hips and shit. That's what's happening.
Whale hips.
Abby, you know.
Like
What
the
are your
humpback?
thoughts, Summer? What are your
I do
thoughts
know.
of Diddy right now?
Oof. I speak not on such a
And just so you
creature.
know, if you're listening to this, those are frogs in Jamaica or crickets. We aren't quite sure.
Allegedly, because to this day I have yet to see
Summer's
a
not
frog
sitting
or
on a porch
cricket.
swing, just swinging
Nope.
back and forth.
Nope. And I've actually switched rooms. This is actually the quieter room.
And
If
it's
I was
just
in
going to
my
get
other
louder
room.
as the season goes
Mhm.
on.
No, I
So-
mean, I just saw Delta from 2 years ago of cicadas being here. So they definitely looped us. Have the
Oh.
cicadas arrived yet? The ones that weren't coming up for 17 years ago because they were totally here 3 years ago. And I have a screenshot.
We've always, yes, we've been talking about the cicadas, I feel like, ever since we locked down for the faux vid.
But what gets me is that like we have cicadas every year here. Like you could hear them; they sound like a fucking sprinkler system. Like
Okay,
They remind me of-
okay. I guess that's the specification.
But I know they have a
How do you tell a
17-year
cicada sound? And a brood X. Like, how are we supposed to? Oh, like, do you have like cicada? And cicada is the new potato. But like, like that's all that's in my head is potato, tomato. I'm sorry to cut you off. But like, is it someone who's like a cicada expert that like, people are bird experts and they're like, ooh, that's
You
a
say
heavy
cicada.
red-breasted.
I say
I say
cicada.
cicada. Ooh, come,
You
you're gonna invite both
say
of them in here.
chimera.
Listen.
I say chimara, cicada, cicada, chimera, chimara. Let's go. I feel like you could make up one about silly fucking conspiracies that people are like, You say a
Nephilim.
Yeah, you say
Cicada, Cada,
Nephilim.
Bobina,
I
Banana,
say
Nana,
Nephilim.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
Bro, we
Back
do need the
serious.
cicadas. No, that is serious.
This is my
We're going
question.
back
If
to
we didn't
serious.
have the
Fuck.
cicadas, like, isn't it interesting that these weather patterns that they were like, oh, El Nino or El Nina or whatever, but we also have these bug patterns or these crab patterns or these certain kinds of other patterns of animals? What if it's like we somewhere have the horse before the cart and the cicadas or the bugs or the birds of certain areas are what call in the temperatures, and so the harp going against it of we keep thinking they need to like just spray a chemical on us, but they're also putting out a sound on us that we necessarily can't hear, and so the animals are combative. They're like little weather witches, calling in snow, calling in heat, calling in winds, calling in. We have no idea what their songs are. We have no idea what they're saying to each other. But doesn't it seem interesting that these same weather cycles that we live on during, like, oh, it's going to be a rough tornado season because the cicadas are out. Like, you know what I mean? Like maybe they already know.
And
It's
the
a frequency.
cockroaches.
But this is what gets me. So they're making this big deal about because the larval cycle is 17 years and some of them is 20. So, but they
What letter is
come
17?
every fucking year. They come every year though. Like, so there, it's not like, oh, it's been 17 years since we've had cicadas. Like, there's cicadas every single year. They just were a larva for probably about 17 years before they decided to freaking be cicadas this year. Like,
No,
I don't know
Abby,
why
that's
they're
the
making it
brood
like, oh,
X.
this year we're gonna have the 17-year and the 20-year. Like, you're gonna have them
No, the
every
brood
fucking
X
year.
is 17. No, but then there's species. The brood X is 17 Q years. And then you have the magi, because they're totally fucking magical fucking cicadas, which are the 13-year ones, right? So it is the brood X and the magi that are supposed to cause a Hopi cross. I don't know, bro. I'm just hoping that breaks the firmament and jubilees us. I mean, that could be the sound if you look into Torah and stuff. That's the sound of cicadas. If you look up cicadas in cicada, which one do I even like anymore? I don't fucking know. Made me forget.
Well,
What
kind
do
of
you
goes
say?
the whole frequency attack and everything that you were talking about. It kind of goes to the whole like sound in your ear and tinnitus and stuff. And I commented on one person's page because he said he did a post on Instagram. Anybody else ever randomly hear a high pitched frequency? And so I just commented and I just said it's an acoustic attack. You know, I always um, say that I'm sovereign and I reject your download, and it always stops immediately. Well, people like this was like December 1st, 2023, and I have like 83 likes. People are still liking it today, and they're like, "Oh my god, I tried it and it worked. I've had tinnitus forever. I'm a vet. Like I'm treated like." And this vet actually just commented on the other day, like everyone says it works. He's like, the ringing in my ears never stopped, and then I did that and it stopped. So the whole sound of it all.
Or even the Grabavoy frequencies or the Grabavoy numbers where people say you can say like
Yeah.
for pain 55515 and it makes pain go away if you keep repeating it. So if you're just chanting a frequency that you have no idea about, and there is so much power in frequency.
There
So
is.
it's like it's as big as anything.
That's why I don't think that the ringing in your ears is in your freaking ear or like, you know, tinnitus. I think it's a fucking frequency.
If you look into ancient antiquitech and like retartarian tech, there is like organs that I'm going to call it retartarian from now on.
I like it.
Retardarian.
Because anyway, but if you look into that stuff, the organs, they used to say like the churches were just educational or healing buildings. They had nothing to do with worshiping something. And so people would go in and the organs would affect your organs. And
Well,
they could
especially
play
when they didn't
certain
have glass
notes
in the
and-
windows because the sound would come out not only of the organs, but they would come out the windows. Because if you ever have you ever seen the birds chirping when they're in the like ice cold and you can see like the breath while they're chirping and it makes the little spirals and stuff?
Or to me, I'd think snowflakes alone are proof that weather is a frequency.
Yeah.
It's proof. What else would do that? Wind?
Okay, but what about us? We are the cathodes of the cathedrals. Like, weren't they always basing it
I
off of
think that
us?
as
Aren't we
well.
that same temple? Because that the same how Tyrion was built is the same thing. And then there's stuff that I'm looking on my other page. I learned about this stuff earlier. But we are the cathodes, and
I
then
know
there's
it
something with
sounds.
water, and then there's something with this special rock that they put in, and I think that's a stone in our temple.
Well, because we were talking the other day when Chaney got back from her cruise, like after Friday, after the show, I think we were talking about how you felt different being on land versus on water and grounding and stuff. And like everybody's like ground, ground, ground. Like you need to ground. And it's like sometimes maybe you don't need to ground.
Like, why isn't every other element given as much kudos as grounding? Why don't sometimes
Yeah.
you need to water. You need to water. Girl, you need to go sit by a fire. You know what you need? You need to sit by a fire. You need to eat food by fire. You need to talk by fire. Like, why isn't every other thing given as much? Everybody's always like, go hug a tree, walk barefoot, ground out. But why not ever like seawater out? Why not saline yourself? Because I have felt so heavy and tired and lethargic. It's like I have felt the full weight, and like I don't even believe in gravity, but whatever that weight is of being on land, I've felt it. And it's so crazy because usually I'm a landlubber. I'm a landlubber. I didn't even know Summer was gone.
Oh, is she gone?
She's back again, I think.
Guess who's back? I came in on
Shady.
I don't know. I don't know where I just got teleported to a while
Where
ago. But I
when did
just
you leave?
posted.
Because I would like to know what you think on that. Like if you Summer, if you think grounding out is given too much thing, like sometimes you need to water out, or sometimes you need to fire out or air out. Air out.
Bro, the ground don't want me.
Damn girl, you need to get out of the shower and air out. You know when you have to dry
can't
off with a like you stand like Manchuvian man. You're like, I'm drying off.
That is
Hello?
why I work out in shorts and a sports bra.
I'm gonna start tomorrow. every day, but I really am. Like today, I got out my yoga mat, but I'm like, I need a nap. I have napped like 6 times since I've been home from my cruise.
Well, it was exhausting being on vacation. Shit. It's okay.
And this is another thing as well. I had an early morning work meeting
Really?
today on my day off, which I always think is this. And it was like, oh, it's my vacation day. I could have probably not gone, but I went.
Good
And I
job.
even was like, if anyone wants off, I'll work. I tried to like get someone to swap with me. I was like, I'll have a different day off this week if anyone wants off. Cause I'm like, if I'm already there,
May as well be
let's,
there. Yeah.
let's fucking do it. Summer floated away again. Maybe she'll be back, or maybe she fell off the Wi Fi. Oh, there she is. I was about to just take down her.
Oh
Hello
my
again.
God, no, 10-10. Roger, breaker one. We have a double neggy over DC. Apparently, my cathode starts short circuiting. So you said, what did you want me to think of?
We
What
were
do you
talking
think of
about
what? I
grounding
really
out
now it's 3
and
minutes
just, but
fucking
it's
later.
okay.
Okay.
We'll
Yeah.
talk about it later. You're
No,
not
but
supposed to hear
grounding.
that one.
No,
We'll
I
move
get
on.
it. No, I heard it. If I ground, then the earth quakes. Okay, I'm not allowed to ground. I have to send it out through the sky, through water, through heel. I don't think everyone has to. And then some people for grounding diatomaceous earth. So that's a good like in the winter. I know it's summertime now, but people always talk about grounding. I'm lucky I can walk barefoot outside and Chaney, and but lots of people don't. But it's not for
I would
everyone.
do.
Oh, so
Do
good.
you, if somebody were to need more air as an element, what would you tell them to do? Like people are like walk barefoot, hug a tree, whatever for grounding out. What would you tell people to do? Like, whew, girl, you need to go flying. Like, what would you tell them? You need to jump out of a tree. You need to crawl. Like, what would you tell somebody if they needed more air in there instead of just grounding out?
To
Because maybe
drive.
some tourists ground out too much. Tourists,
Yeah,
I'm
like to,
talking to
or then
you.
like you drive them in a taxi. So if you come to Jamaica and you're too grounded, then we air you out driving in a bus on the mountainside of Jamaica with your head hanging out the window. I mean, if that's not air, or go swallow some air on a roller coaster. I mean, that would be a good one. But most people
Breath.
breathe wrong, guys. We're supposed to swallow it or something. I can't. Breath, eat. That's such a weird word, breath. I hate
Is
that
it
word.
weird how
Breath, breathe,
unintentionally we breathe or
red,
blink
read.
or do those the you know all the movements we don't have to think about involuntary? Is it weird? Like those are the things we try to be intentional about when we're meditating. Like keep your eyes shut, concentrate on your breathing, clear your head. It's really just all your involuntary
But do
movements
you
that you're
do that?
trying to.
Because I stop breathing, then I feel like I'm gonna die. Then like they tell me to stop doing it, like my
Well, guess
brain
what that means,
revolts.
Summer.
Sleep apnea,
You have
like
sleep
me.
apnea.
Just
No,
figured
girl,
I.
like or DMT, like DMT to me, like, and that's how I would blast. I felt like I was suffocating, like all the air was coming out the room, and then like the first time I wouldn't go off because I thought I'd forget how to breathe. A lot of other people don't have that experience, but that also my last breath when I like simulated, I'm like, oh, this is your dying. Take your last breath. When I took those two last breaths, oof, that's when I shot. But to me, it's this thing. It's not sleep apnea. I wasn't sleeping. It's just I just when it's not when I'm now being conscious about something unconscious, me having control over it sabotages it just like everything else in my life. So
Don't you
Yeah,
think
well,
like oh go on, Abby.
oh, no, go ahead.
I was just thinking like the 900, I always go back to this example of like Tony Hawk doing the 900 and then it became this very easy possible thing and then the next person could do a 12, like it just became like another one 12 to, it like another spin, another spin, another spin. And that's how I feel like human beings have been because of the internet in a weird way. The 100 monkeys of us, if I were going to give it a big ups of the internet, the 100 monkeys of us of being able to see all the possibilities of things is making our possibility of like we're not as scared of it. So I've even noticed one of the examples of this is how long human beings can hold their breath now. It's something like I'm obsessed
Hmm.
with. I don't know if it's just my
It
algorithm
is.
because I'm obsessed with sea creatures, but I also think you'll notice great whites and whales and these things once we don't have all these contraptions around us and bubbling for us and weird oxygen tanks on our back and weights on our ankles. The when we're just holding our breath like they're holding their breath. Like the manatee, like the whale, like the dolphin. It's just holding its breath. So now the animal's not scared of us anymore. It's like we're at one with it. It's like you understand this, and they're even having cave divers that they're able to go down because there was a lot of holes they couldn't fit in with breathing apparatuses that now they can hold their breath and get through. So they're getting to air pockets and caverns that haven't been seen in like who knows maybe 1,000 years. So they're finding like weird treasures in South America and Mexico because of these caves. And Florida has all these underground caves too. But I just think that it's like maybe kind of special that there is some things that the little kids that are coming up. I know we always like to put fear on things like the generation below us, but maybe those kids will be like next level because they won't be scared of any limitations.
okay,
Well,
but
seriously, because
what's
we were raised with what 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 days, 3 minutes. Did you guys always hear that? You can go 3 weeks without food, 3 days without water, 3 minutes without air, and it's like
never
now
heard
you
that
can
in my
hold your breath
life.
for
I love
20
it.
something minutes.
And there are even
But
those deep sea divers.
Yeah,
Go on,
he's done
Summer. What
like
were you going to say?
21.
yeah, no, I'm saying you can now. There's a way where with all of these pockets and earth shifting that like divers are finding just little random air pockets that you can just take a little breath off of that. But I look back at the same Tartaria thing. I already forgot your word for it because I always go into this thing. When we talk about like dragons and what
Retartaria. Was that the
retarded.
word?
I
I'm just
don't
kidding.
know.
Go
I'm
on.
not. So, don't get me banned already. I'm already blacklisted. I gave trouble. Oh gosh. Anyway, so I was looking through plumbing because I always think about waste and animal waste and manure. I think I was on a Baghdad battery dig. It was the same thing because that's what they do. They urinate into these little flashlight looking light bulb things, and that's what they gave free power with from the pyramids. It's a whole thing. Baghdad batteries. But then that's where it led me to Tartarian buildings, and all of them had running water and plumbing, but they didn't have much toilets. And then I'm like, yo, where did they shit? They have water, they have everything. But then you look more into them, they were a lot of Tartarians were breatharianism. It's totally better than drinking pee. And those are what the fruits and the living on breath. So maybe we weren't supposed to. Oh
Well, there's
no.
that idea of the people
I
that
don't want to have
were
to shit.
sun
I mean,
stairs.
if
I
we
know
don't have to
some of
pee,
it has been
then this is my
debunked.
world,
But,
and I'm going to speak it quantumly.
okay. We're not shitting in the 6D. What do we need it for? Do we still need to
With what?
eat in the 6D? In the 6D, do we still have to eat and shit and piss? We can get rid of those in the 6D.
I want like the tablet. I want like an all-in-one meal, like in the vending machine, like the Jetsons. Oh my god, I was on a
Only if
huge
it tastes really good.
Jetson dig. Yeah, but just so or one thing in a meal, because sometimes
Why?
I hate
Because
the
of Project
process.
Rosie?
Oh my god, I didn't even think about her, but I was wondering who Judy was up to, and I was actually looking how many times in the Jetsons did you ever see the Earth or the floor. I was trying to locate their real realm. But that was a whole rabbit hole. What's Elroy up to? Astro. Like, whole dig. Fuck, it's too early. Sorry, guys.
No, I think it's the Jetsons and the Flintstones. Look at that. Another thing, right with Disney and Warner Von Braun trying to sell us space, that had to go right along with it. The dinosaurs and space were fucking hand in hand, and it was the Jetsons and the Flintstones. Even though we were younger than those cartoons, they were played everywhere. I just remember that, like, every 3 p.m. Ding, 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 ding. Like, you'd get off school and you have to sit through the Jetsons
Meet
first.
George Jetson, his boy Elroy, daughter Judy, Jane, his wife.
His wife.
But that's what I was looking. I was looking through it, and it was like one season. It was like literally like 12 episodes. I'm like, did they make us watch 12 episodes over and over? And then it's on another timeline, someone else took it over. But the original one, like I think it was 69, they were playing it over and over. So weird. But we did get the Apple Watch, which is what Penny had in Inspector Gadget. Always wanted that. I just still don't have one, but we did. I wanted that as a kid. So why not? What else did the Jetsons have?
And look at Mr. Claw, really
Lieutenant
ran by the
Rosie,
friggin' kitty.
Who? That's in Jetsons?
No,
There's
Mr. Claw was just
Inspector
the
Gadget.
claw.
Inspector
claw.
Gadget
Oh,
was
God,
really
I
just the cat. And he's even
forgot about
telling
him.
you it's just the cat running it because what's his fucking name? Mr. Motherfucking Claw.
That's the cat's name. I wonder if that's the cat who play Hey Diddle Diddle. We're gonna link Mr. Claw back to that whole thing. It's like the Wizard of Oz with the cat. What is Gargamel's cat's name?
Azrael.
Azrael.
Bro, we need to do
Like
a
the
bad
angel,
cat
right?
fucking. I'm gonna do like a whole AI thing of all of those ones. So we need Mr. Claw, we need Azrael. Who are some other badass cats? Not Heathcliff, but Heathcliff does have a good
Garfield?
episode on Antarctica. Garfield, like, was he rude though? Who was the
Heathcliff
rude one?
is the badass Garfield.
He-
Fuck Garfield. Garfield's a lazy fat pussy. You know who's a bomb? And every like, I hate Mondays. But
Cadillac cat.
Heathcliff?
Like
Heathcliff and the
Caillou.
Cadillac
Caillou's a
cats
bitch.
don't even play.
Heathcliff's no
he was cool.
the
But Garfield was an
neighborhood.
asshole. That's what I liked about him.
No, but then he teaches kids to be asshole, like fucking Peppa Pig and Caillou. Fuck those bitches, yo. I want to fucking
Oh, Caillou
smack
is a
them.
whiny ass little
Caillou's a
bitch.
whiny ass.
That
little
was
bitch.
not okay.
So
Yeah.
at least Garfield's a cat. I mean, oh god. Oh my god, is this what I'm gonna spend my
Is
Sunday
it
night
called
watching?
Sonic Kitty?
Who's that?
Is that what it's called? Project Sonic Kitty? Gosh dang it, chat. I'm so
No,
sorry.
the chat did say it. I forgot what it was already,
You know
though.
what it is too?
Acoustic Kitty.
Acoustic Kitty. Thank you. Look into Project Acoustic
Totally.
Kitty, Summer.
Oh my
Because
god, I can't.
it goes along with the birds aren't real, and I think birds aren't real. When Thomas does that one, that's going to be the one that blows up because it's such a silly tagline for conspiracy where they're like birds aren't real. It doesn't make any sense. But then when you look into the CIA and these um, shadow agencies, and it's like, yo, they've made fake bugs. Like they've made fake bugs, they've made fake birds. They try to figure out ways to
Do you
put
have love
things in
bugs this
cats.
year?
I haven't
Have you
seen
had
love
them?
bugs this
Bro,
year.
where the fuck are they gone? Have fireflies come back? I feel like I spotted one the other
I
day.
haven't seen fireflies. My mangoes are so big.
Chaney,
My,
everything is gymongous. Okay, this
but my
blue
grass
sun.
is normal. I actually think for whatever reason, all the grass that isn't supposed to be here, like the St. Augustine grass that's super hard, that doesn't feed anyone, it just brings the mosquitoes, all that shit's dead. All of it. It's like people have to obsessively water it to keep it alive. All the natural things, all the weeds that they tell you could eat and survive on medicinal shit, that stuff is booming in my yard. And I usually keep such a tidy yard, but it's so weird that this time of year, if you knew Florida, the swamp of it, I just need to get my weed eater. I don't even have to mow. It's not right. And the fish in the Keys are still doing something weird underwater. Like they're all it's weird that you're like the stingray, the cuttlefish, they're all kind of in this kind of family. The swordfish, they're like spinning themselves upside down still under docks.
Bro, they're doing weird shit. But I'm telling you, I did it with the kids and I've been watching this and mapping it to the point where in my carport, you know how you measure
That
how
would be a
tall you're
sound
growing?
underwater. Like we're talking about how
Or,
frequency, and they can push a
yeah.
certain frequency underground or underwater that it blows out because dolphins, their sonar, like whatever in their inside their
Mm-hmm.
head, there's people that know all the words that are smarter.
Echolocation. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll just blow it out and then they'll just die. When you see all those beached whales and shit on the beach, that's because the military or some underwater sound blew out their thing. So when you see all those dead birds laying somewhere, same thing happened in the sky. I think sound is a lot.
It's
Like,
horrible and vibration. But you see, even birds aren't
The
real. And
word.
I want to tell you what Acoustic Kitty, what Gemini has to say about it, because I love hearing what AI says.
okay.
But the birds aren't real, right? The bird drones thing. I was looking into Tesla and his patents, and a lot of people look at what he did have patents in, but he had in America, but he had patents in like 26 countries, I think. But I look at the patents that didn't go through, that they didn't approve, because he's the first one that ever pitched using birds as drones, you know, and the CCPs took it from him, and even direct energy weapons and stuff like that. But he did have something like that was harp, very harp sounding, an earthquake machine, and then something with frequency that you're talking about. But Project Acoustic Kitty was a real but ultimately unsuccessful program of the CIA in the 60s. The aim was to turn cats into spies. What? How did I just hear this timeline, bro? What?
You haven't
All
been
right.
watching Secret Society of Good Guys on Friday nights or following paranoidamerican.com.
Okay. You don't want
It's okay.
Abby, we're not going to say what we've done. But the idea was to surgically implant a mic to eavesdrop. Bro, I know them fuckers. They even hid the antenna in the fur. There were technical challenges, but it was a mystery at the end. This is the end now. So the first cat was tragically killed by a taxi cab. Now he wants to come and talk. Just like Tubby, the three-legged dog from the Galloping Gertie Bridge that collapsed. You guys know that the bridge that collapsed, and only one survivor was a three-legged dog named Tubby. That's who's talking to me. So now I'm more interested about the first cat that was tragically killed by a taxi cab.
Summer, do you remember Fort Salem, Motherland?
Oh, yes.
And do you
Oh, that
remember
just
how they
made
would
me
make
DMT.
like their whole entire thing was they'd go to war with each other, like with weather, and it was all frequency and tonal, and it was like you were a powerful coven if your frequencies matched in a way, and then you were an extra powerful witch if you could control a tornado on your own.
Well, y'all got your period at the same time and made an earthquake in Jamaica. So I'm not surprised. It's like fucking snowing elsewhere. And that's what I'm saying. We can keep giving the evil day. And I know a lot of these horrible death ones are, but like these orcas fighting back and these animals fighting back. I definitely believe it's well, disclaimer, but on another timeline. Also, same thing with UFOs, or not UFOs, crop circles, right? Crop circles, people always think it's external, but it could be the vibration of the core of Mother Earth, like giving out some kind of code or some kind of clue. Because no one had ever really studied the fallen wheat. And now people have now studied the fallen wheat and the regenerative properties. It makes them huge. That's all I'm saying is the trees outside. Clive was here on Thursday and cut down whatever, and they've grown like 6 inches to the point on my carport. No shit, I have it marked where I'm measuring how much the magic tree that I've had for Christmas every year has grown in the past 2 weeks. And all of this stuff is huge. The apple tree that was cut down, it's usually tiny apple. It's not even supposed to be blossoming now. Huge already. So I'm here for abundance, unless we're shrinking and fucking becoming Jack and the Beanstalk shit. Wrong show. Sorry, guys.
Somebody, no, I'm
Same idea
somebody.
though.
Somebody
Growing, shrinking.
also, Marianne wrote Summer of Sam on the side. I don't know why it made my brain do a thing, but it makes me think of
That just made
ABBA.
me do.
And it's so, because ABBA is such a strong spell. It's so Crowley. To be the same thing forward and backward, to be the A-B. And then SOS is another ABBA song. And so the fact that you write SOS on a beach and Summer of Sam is SOS, like there's certain things that I always just, is that
Save our
505?
souls.
Like even like we were talking about the Grabavoy numbers of it all. Like what are it's all a
ABBA's
language that we
weird.
don't speak. ABBA is
Because
so
ABBA
weird.
it means father. That's what's weird about it.
And then Ba.
Abbas like ba. That's what I was saying. So you mix in a few Abbas with a few bas. Oh my God, I'm about
And
to
you
ba.
put a
Bah.
mirror down it. Yeah, it's like Ba, Ba.
I'm gonna start calling Abby Abba. Can I?
ABBA.
That's what it means. Well, if my name was Abigail, it'd be joy of the father, because the Gail part is the joy part. But really, my name just means father.
So what Gail
Just
means
call me
joy.
daddy. Yeah,
So you're just Abby? I love that. You're not
yeah,
Abigail?
just Abby.
I love that.
Huh.
Like I have a
I'm
jazz
Chaney
here.
Gail.
I'm Summer,
Are
no
you
middle
really?
name.
No.
Fuck, man.
Chaney Gail.
Bro, great
Chaney
Gail.
Gail.
Bro, let's talk about Gail. Well, we have Gail Wins,
I'm gonna
the
call you
biggest
that.
conspiracy. Fucking Oprah Gail. What's her name? Remember her? What's
Oh,
that bitch?
Gail and
Yeah.
Oprah.
Gail. That she's study her.
Gail.
What's her last name? My brain won't even let me say it. 3 of us might say it, and the world might
Legay.
shit.
Gail.
What's her last name, bro?
Gail.
She became a one
Somebody
namer. She's
brilliant
not
in the
worthy of a
chat.
one
She is
namer.
not
Come
worthy
on,
of
she's
being a.
not.
But we had to say Oprah and Gail to give her
It's
any.
just I'm gonna itch. I'm gonna
What
clear
is
with
her?
Madonna.
Gail
I'm gonna.
King.
Oh
Right?
fuck! Even worse. That just made me even madder.
Even
Oh my
worse.
God.
What is the king of it all? They're
Regina
even letting
King.
us
We're gonna
know.
go around the second time around. The second time around. The fapping Regina King of it all. Now we're gonna do a Gail King.
Stedman. That is such a like what a
Stedman.
the idea that she would come on and everybody's like, oh my gosh, look
Is
at
that
it.
her husband or Oprah's husband or both of their baby? Like I don't even know who's who anymore. Who's
But
fucking who?
that she would come on her show and be like, these are my favorite things, and it's just a big fucking infomercial. And then everybody now watches like Joe Rogan, and the whole show it's like, oh, Terrence Howard, you're taking drops on air that an alarm was set for you to pull out of your bag right now, and I want to pull it over and look at it with my glasses. Like people are watching infomercials now on their podcast and not even and Joe Rogan's half his show is an infomercial that you're watching, like some kind of alpha brain or bullshit.
I can't unsee his
Product
nipples.
placement with
Bruh.
oh my god.
I've never been able, from that day of the hot tub, I've never been able to hear one word. It's like the minute I see him, hear him, my brain just puts that awful image in. Remember that, Chaney? Would you rather have nipples for fingers or fingers for nipples? And we use Joe Rogan
Easy.
nipples as
Fingers for
Joe
nipples.
Rogan in his hot tub.
Yeah.
Though. You don't remember that picture with his giant long finger nipples? Oh,
Ah.
worse than
Rogan. I just think he's such a like he is the cheesecloth for the thinking
Melinda
brain.
Gate
If
legs.
it's so hard to get through him, it's like he's a tuna net and it catches so many dolphins and whales like that are supposed to swim free, but they get caught in the fucking tuna net of Neil deGrasse Tyson
Oh,
Roganisms. It makes me insane. And so it's like he's in the zeitgeist now, and it lets me know that he was losing all of his power with going to Spotify. No one followed him there like the sheep to Howard Stern Sirius. The elite thought this was going to happen again. Like they'll all follow us to this app and we'll be able to control them easier. And now if he were doing good, he would have stayed there, but he wasn't
Yeah.
doing good. That's why he's back on YouTube. And so he just gets a one lump sum payout. And now all the commercials or advertising and stuff is now Spotify's. Like he doesn't get that anymore. So it's just like such a handled show. Like
hang on though.
CIA
But
handlers
Alex
on it.
Jones, is Alex Jones having to pay that 1.4 billion too? He like Alex Jones and Joe Rogan. I can tell are going to be the ones that mix in my brain, like Al Pacino and Robert De Niro forevermore. But
Me
like whatever,
too.
Why
like
are
Why
they
they're
though?
is
already
that?
merging. Why?
They
They're
are.
Why?
fuck that, because they don't matter. Not even two of them together. I mean, my
Can
fingers.
you mix Joe Pesci
Does
in there
someone in
too?
here listening has
The
an
name
injured
doesn't really
left
No.
thumb?
fit. He's
No,
got a
Joe
No,
couple
but
Pesci
teeth
is
Joe
too.
Pesci,
something.
He's
Al Pacino,
yeah.
but Joe Pesci, Al Pacino, and Robert De Niro are all the same person to me. And Danny DeVito. Yeah, I mix him in there
This
with
is
Joe
just something
Pesci.
so nerdy and that I just have
Twins.
to say right now because it's one of those friend things, but it's one of like my favorite things that I would say. You know those Joe Pesci explosions, like his little Italian explosions where he's like,
Yeah.
"What I'm funny, haha, I amuse you." Like whatever show you watch him in, he has these little like Italian explosions. That little essence of Joe Pesci is a little essence that I love about my Maria. Like it's this little essence of an angry Italian. Like if I'm sometimes I'm aloof or like airheaded and things, or I'm super stoned, and she'll get like irritated in an Italian way at me that she like yes and it just her it's like a little Joe Pesci, but it's one of the things that I love about her that everybody doesn't always get to see. Anyways, it's
I
nerdy.
love
I
that.
just had
No,
to say it because it's just like it's a little Joe Pesci and I like it.
like her little devil angel on the shoulder.
Yeah,
What
like one of
show
them,
had those?
her
One
little
has an
devil would be
accent.
Joe
Yeah,
Pesci.
yeah, yeah, I love it. Who says suffering suffocage? I know the cat. Okay, guys, but hang on.
Sylvester.
Yeah, we're back to cats. Are we putting him on there? That's the
Wait, back to
timeline.
the Al Pacino, Robert De
No. Oh
Niro.
my god, they're all blending in my head. I'm doing a dance. I tried to. Okay, you go back.
We can change it. We can change it. What did you want to talk about?
No, they're
Sylvester.
all merging. No, now the cats are dancing in the head like it's a whole play because he brought in Sylvester Stallone. So Sylvester Stallone now like is the borderline. Like Al Pacino merges us into Sylvester Stallone. So you start with the little mini DeVito Joe Pesci's and then you go to like the Al
Would that
Pacino.
be the well, who would be the final transformation if we were talking Pokemon here? Would it be Sylvester Stallone?
To Arnold
Because he's the
Schwarzenegger.
Italian stallion too, right?
I saw Arnold Schwarzenegger on a crazy commercial. Remember when they tried to make him the new apprentice? Like they tried to make him take over for Trump?
Shit, I don't remember that.
Yeah, and wasn't he running for governor? And then Maria Shriver was something
No, he
else.
was the governor.
He was governor. Yeah.
Governor. Oh my god, governor.
He was the
Oh.
governor. I think it's crazy how long he's been in this country and his accent's he's never gotten better at English.
Whatever happened to Connie
Like
Chung?
we've been watching the same voice for 50 years. Like, come
Maury
on,
Povich
dude,
and
work at
Connie
it.
Chung. Maury and Connie Chung are the Maria Shriver and Arnold Schwarzenegger. They're the same couple in my head. I don't know why. But
It's
why?
weird.
Maury.
It's like handler shit, man. It's just weird.
I feel like if you look up somebody and they have a Wikipedia and their parent has a Wikipedia, you're done. Like you don't have. It's like okay, like you're already there's one little check mark in your digging. Because how
All right,
many of
we're
you,
Joe
know what I
Pesciing
mean?
right
Like,
now. Right now. If
it's
it's his
just you look
birthday
up certain
today.
people and you're like, oh, of course. And this person, they're I just thought it was funny, like Terrence Howard and Joe Rogan have both worked for Disney. And I think it's funny that everybody always gives Joe Rogan this credit with saying certain medications, but he was the one that walked in the PCR test and normalizing it. Like every single guest, he let us know he had it. I also think it's crazy that he had Jack Dorsey on and was getting paid by Jack Dorsey to interview him in the real time. I don't know.
That's
I could
nuts.
just go
Well,
on and
Joe
on about
Pesci, Joe
Brogan.
Pesci's
And
parents
he's
have
like 4'9". I just think that is crazy.
He's.
who who Joe Pesci? Because if you're
I
four
really
nine, you
want to
can
make
get
the.
I bet you Rogan is the same height as Joe Pesci, but lies about it.
I'm gonna
guys.
make a Little Dick Energy song. I swear. Like Paranoid American. I gotta write the lyrics.
A little
Joe
dick
Pesci's
energy song.
parents.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
who's
put
Joe
Joe Rogan
Pesci's
on there.
parents?
Joe Pesci's parents have Wikipedias.
Wow, who are they?
I was also this week. I also went down a mafia rabbit holes. I like the mafia, and it's such a big, huge thing. But it was like there's the new Gotti thing on Netflix, so I'm like, here we go. Everything's a rewriting of history. And it is interesting to me that Gotti is pretty much the last organized crime boss they let us know about, and how the papers pushed him to be famous. They're like, Gotti loved it. Did he love it? Or is it all like the same exact media that is propagating us has always propagated us? So we're allowed to know about these certain godfathers. We're allowed, like, they make these certain people famous. Like, they're just allowed to walk around and no one does anything. These certain kings, these heads of state, it's just like an illusion of something. Or were they the ones that were the only ones brave enough to stand up against the governmental cartel, the families, in that Godfather way? This is another thing. Somebody said that Terrence Howard was saying some interesting things. He says some interesting, smart things mixed with complete, like his whole thing. I don't know. I really encourage everyone to go read Terrence Howard's 1 × 1 = 2. And it is, and he thinks he has invented shapes that are just shapes that have always been there. Like there's a lot of stuff that he says that it's attached to things we all think, but then like his own self, like he remembers being born. Like that's how the interview starts. Is he like, oh, when I was born, like I'm like he's touch. He's this gifted thing. Like he has a book in the Akashic nobody else could ever touch. I don't know. There's something about him that feels like a cult leader.
So he basically watched the movie Powder and decided to make that part of his persona. Like,
Even
the worst
he's
thing.
like agoraphobic and he stays inside his house all day just making these little shapes with like little copper wires and plastic. He like solders together plastic and little copper wires all day, every day. And even his wife doesn't leave. Like they just stay and make these little shapes inside the house. Like he's putting this whole thing together so people understand the flower of life. It's just like some part, it's like he's on to some things, but he also is Jesse Smollett. Like he's Empire. He's a Disney guy. He won an Oscar. There is nothing about him that isn't part of the CIA. So he is telling you exactly, like I even feel like I like float tanks. I've done DMT, but those are the 2 ingredients that you would need to put you in a state of the matrix. So if I wanted you to float in a gelatin and just feed off your like loosh, if I could feed off your energy, the easiest way to keep humans alive would be to have them in a state of forever sleep dream state that I could hack and then put them on DMT. And so if I could figure out a way to, like, I just think Joe Rogan is this walk-in of things like that no one sees because they're like, oh, he feels good. He wasn't like part of Disney. He wasn't on Just Shoot Me and part of ABC from the beginning. He isn't
Tells
Hundreds
the
of
truth.
Millionaire, and it didn't just move the CIA headquarters from like he's the comedy mothership, like I don't know. Even the whole alien agenda. He's the only person I've ever seen in my whole life flip on the moon landing. Like not believing in it at all, being the biggest proponent to tell people not to believe in it, and then being like, because I had Neil deGrasse Tyson on my show, now I believe in it. I don't know. I just think
Yeah, we
everything.
don't change our mind on those kind of
No, I just think
stuff.
you like Rogan, you have to think in your head the same way he had Tom DeLonge on his show. He has Tom DeLonge on his show to tell you about the same brainwashing they're walking you through right now with the Pentagon's releasing all these flight things. Tom DeLonge told you about that on Joe Rogan like a year or 2 years before that. Tom DeLonge, the dude from Blink 182. And it's just
Oh,
like
I can't. I
these are
can't.
the things that make me like, and then they're like, look at Joe Rogan mocks him on the show. Yeah, because it's all part of the act. Joe Rogan is an actor. He's an actor. That literally is what he is. I don't know. It's crazy to me that anyone thinks like, but Rogan told us about, yeah, I know, like Alex Jones. The realest shit Alex Jones tells you on the show, they have to make sure you know that Alex Jones is drunk and high before he tells you those things. And those are the things they mock. So I think like when they're like, your kids are being eaten by interdimensional space demons, that's probably the truest thing Alex Jones has ever said on Joe Rogan. Because anytime like Alex Jones was never involved in Sandy Hook. That whole court case is bullshit. Like the whole entire thing, like I don't know. It
They
all
tore
makes
down
me
the
want to
school
flip
10
a
days
table.
later. That's all I gotta say. Who tears down an entire school?
Alex Jones never had anything to do with Sandy Hook, anything to do with Q, anything to do with there's all these like Johnny come latelys onto the Roger Stones of it all. Like, I don't know. It's just crazy to me. It's crazy that there's these certain characters in the zeitgeist that I know I loved Howard Stern too. But gosh, isn't it easy to see that he was just set there to like, oh, let's get far away from terrestrial radio. Let's get far away from these signals. Let's let them start putting these other radios in our car.
That is when, Chaney, when we switched, there's something that happened. This is a great conspiracy. Now I have to look back, and I don't have it handy here, and I don't know the keyword, but something happened when we went from digital to analog. And when we went from digital to analog, there was an executive order that Obama signed. And like it was supposed to be signed in like the February, but it got pushed out maybe till the June. And like, a huge couple 100-page executive order. But it was something in there. It's linked to ham radio. I don't know any of these terms, but it's one of those ones with the fine print where they like put in this other grid. And this is the same grid that is the frequency that is making the red SUV drive the car through the parade. You understand? And those different waves when they could tap in and the Skynet. But there's something about it where it was like the crime, and it was something about Obama having to rush before his presidency was over to make sure it was signed. And then if they came out and you were using the old one and not the new one, like, I don't know, serious jail time, like something serious. There's something. What's the Willy Wonka? They're in the TV. That's how I feel now. Skyneted.
Wonka vision?
Yeah, but those are it's the frequency. Like that's what triggers people. Even that woman who did the monster, Charlize Theron monster movie, whatever serial killer she was after, Eileen. Like she said in this
Eileen
most recent
Wuornos.
documentary, yeah, that she says it's in there. They're speaking through the frequency in these prisons, and they're
Or look at
brainwashing
Isaac
them.
Cappy. Isaac Cappy, there was that story of he was driving with like his female cohort. I don't know who it was in the car with him. And she all of a sudden started hearing in her head, I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Hold on. And she was like, what the fuck? Inside her brain,
Bill
she heard it.
Collins
The
in my
radio
head.
wasn't on and anything. And she looked over at Isaac and she's like, is because he had told her, you don't understand what they're doing to me. They're playing frequencies into my head. And then she's like, is this what's happening to you? Like they were driving by themselves in a car in the middle of the desert. And she could
Bro,
hear it too.
I'm gonna get copied. I hear songs all
Well,
the
because
time.
even the switch from AM to FM, you know, because that was one was amplitude frequency, and they switched it to or amplitude modulation to frequency modulation. It's like
And
back
doesn't
when
it
it was
also
AM.
seem
Like, did you guys even in Florida and
Yeah.
wherever else could you all hear the Tijuana station? There was a station that was
Yeah,
like
you
being
used to be able to
broadcast out of
hear a
Tijuana,
lot
and you could hear it
further.
everywhere. You could hear it in any part of the country.
Yeah. And so then it makes me think if every single one of those times that they change the frequencies on us, that they also implement a certain different metal of wacky juice that we're not allowed to talk about without losing our stations, then you also see all these uprises all of a sudden every time, and sicknesses and deaths and cancers and things. It's like you can almost see this wave of humanity with the upgrade of technology over and over again.
Yeah.
Strontium, barium, all of those stuff. It links back to the Skynet, doesn't it? But oh fuck,
And
I forgot.
FYI, Ben Balderson wrote me from our I don't know what talk we were on because we were talking about what crystal is. Like, and it's lead.
Yeah. Oh, I know. It's fucking lead, like crystal glass.
Yeah.
It's just leaded glass. And so I'm like, okay, so like the old houses that you could buy that have leaded glass windows, they're crystal technically.
And
Well, what
leaded
am I supposed
paint
to
and
do?
lead mirrors that have that lead glass over whatever.
Mhm.
Like, they sure did want all the lead.
I know. That's been bothering me.
What were the
I keep
fillings
thinking
made
about
out
it.
of?
The lead mercury. So they wanted
Oh,
lead,
mercury.
mercury, and glitter. Fuck. Motherfucker.
Glitter. All right, you guys. It's 11:47 Eastern Standard Time. Do you have anything else to say to anyone?
What's next week's show?
On Friday,
Sorry, I
I'm gonna
fucking
get.
cut you.
No, I'm
not
gonna get my
Friday,
shit
Sunday.
together. I'm gonna get it. We're gonna
Are we watching
organize. We
Cats?
might have
Heathcliff?
costumes. I don't know. We are going into Pride Month. We could tear that a new asshole. No pun intended.
Cats? Can you dress up like cats? Acoustic kitties. Please,
I
please,
know.
please.
That we should do
It'd be
kitty night.
perfect.
Kitty night. Kitty
Acoustic
night.
kitties. Acoustic kitties, bro.
kitties to push Paranoid
And you
America.
could watch
Every single
Heathcliff
one
Yeah.
of his
and
new
Antarctica.
cartoons, we'll
I'll get
dress
some cat
like it.
ears. We'll be
Yeah, because we
furries.
could have a Catholic night because he did the John F. Kennedy
Ah.
one too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. You guys, we'll be more organized. There'll be a theme Friday and a word, and maybe we'll actually research stuff. And you know, we've had life go on, and
We have had life gone.
we appreciate you guys so much for hanging out. And it was awesome that Summer came and hung out with us tonight. It added some
So
extra
glad.
magic as always. And yeah, Summer, do you have anything to plug? You have anything coming up? Where can everyone find you?
No. No, I've been doing. But no, I'm not. I'm sorry. You guys are. Oh, I've been off too, but summer is coming. Once I get the AC, you can find me probably on X most likely. I only go onto Instagram and those. We still haven't gotten ours back yet, Chaney. But you can find me. Storm is, I don't know. But thanks for having me, guys. I'm sorry to the audience for flying in hot at this time. I sometimes forget that there's people watching us live. So I apologize.
I
in
love when you fly in
advance.
hot.
Yeah, that's what we kind of like about Sunday nights is, there was probably like 10 things we didn't finish talking about, but it is just kind of like
We
a
have
hen
finished
house
nothing.
a little bit.
Nothing.
Yeah.
So you do know
It's
I
a
have
little bit of
list
a hen
here.
house.
We're
just in
finish
here
it, Chaney.
clucking.
We're gonna finish it. I have it. I've actually written it down, so I know where
We're
we
spilling
started.
tea in here. We
have dead
gossip. We didn't even talk
presidents.
about Diddy.
I refused to, so we got to dead
'Cause it's like-
presidents. Fucking. Oh no, I don't want to. I have to deal with Gail King. Have a good night,
Yeah.
guys. Bye bye.
All right. Love you guys. We will see you very soon, and catch Abby on Tuesday over on Blue Collar Mystics if you
Thank
want
you.
to trans surf with her and Bootsy.
Not
Boy,
to be mistaken for trends agenda.
yeah, I was just about to tell. Oh, okay. We have to add this, guys. Peacock TV, which is like NBC, just came out with Gay Planet, and it's all animal.
This is real life. It's
Real
such
life New York Post. You only have
craziness.
to look at New York Post, guys. That's all that matters. New York Post headlines. But it's a gay planet, and it's all about the gay, bisexual, and trans animals in the animal kingdom. Yep, we got here.
It's all about the trans agenda in the animal kingdom.
But real trans surfing.
And I think if we're going to bring it all back around, that first, when they did that Planet Earth show, when they first started spreading that bullshit to us, wasn't Oprah the narrator of that show?
Bro, her and Morgan Freeman, between the two of them, they've been the voice of everything. Morgan Freeman didn't even start till his 40s. Oh my God.
The narration over animals it's how everybody believes in
Ugh.
global warming. It's literally why everybody believes in global warming, is because Al Gore told you that polar bear swimming was on a melted iceberg. Like, literally, there's no way to prove
Attenborough. David Attenborough. He's a voice of it too. He's
I'm
like
gonna
the David Icke, all the British weird ones. David Attenborough, David Icke. With oh my God, I'm mad. That was MK Ultra, bro. I'm like teleporting to watching penguin documentaries.
because they're like, this mother bird, blah blah blah. Look at her, sing her song to her, and we're like, we don't know that. It's just the first time we've captured it. Like, we're just, it makes me crazy. Okay, I love you guys so much. We will see you on Friday night for sure, and who knows, maybe Summer will be back. But until then, here is Acoustic Kitty again on the way out. So Summer can see it too. She'll enjoy it. Okay. Love you. Bye-bye.
When the CIA wasn't busy implanting devices in humans, bulls, and donkeys, they also experimented on common house cats. Project Acoustic Kitty was developed in the 1960s with a budget of $20 million, with the aim of implanting microphones and radio transmitters into the heads of felines as surveillance devices. Rumor has it that the project was scrapped after a prototype was run over by a taxi cab. Although, who knows how many surveillance cats are out in the wild right now? How well do you know your cat?
Can't you save us, Britney Spears? Can we be saved? God, why is Satan controlling the universe?
Constantly explore the view of possibilities come true. So what we do is call out to the good guys. Good guys, good guys, good guys. Witches, widows, mega mistakes, entertaining, calming linguists. Good guys. Forum of decorum needs a secretive society to advance on philosophies intentionally, magically. Good guys, good guys, good guys, good guys. Witches, weirdos, mischief making. It's okay to change your thinking. Good guys. Good guys, good guys.
Bunnies. Hi. Okay, of course she's starving for the most attention because she's the youngest. Give me attention, please. Now, Sarah, you're very stuck up. And you're too cool for school, I get it. Jesus Christ.